the day's sort of arrived, buddy, where you're getting close to perfecting one of your inventions. This has obviously been a long time in the works. Tell me a bit about how the whole situation where in farming and how important this board is going to be for you on the farm here and what you want to achieve with the invention.
Okay, thanks, Joey. Pleasure to have you here. And I do think that this is one of the things that I attribute some of my success in the farming game to, is this. It's like people don't realize what a couple adjustments does, the difference it makes, like on even a modern combine today, right? Like it's huge difference. Just a few adjustments can save you easy a bushel an acre, bushel and a half. And if you're not testing it like this, your combines, you don't really know.
So we'll just backtrack a bit and really talk about what the board actually does and what it actually achieves for farmers. And with fine margins these days in farming, it's an important thing that farmers are going to have to start looking at being an essential part of their equipment.
It tells you your bushels per acre loss, just like all of the other systems out there, except this one doesn't have. You don't need to download an app. You don't need to have a scale, and it's about, I would say, a quarter of the time spent sifting the chaff from the grain. Probably about 25% of the time. And I've been boarding combines for 15 years, and I've used pretty much every other system that is on the market today. And I think like how I got into it is like, I'm pretty sure my dad invented combine panning like back in the 90s. He had an old window pane that the glass was busted out of, and he replaced the glass with a piece of fiberglass, a sheet of fiberglass. And we would throw it in front of this tire like on the 860s. I remember him trying to bounce it off that tire actually. And there was no provision though for like knowing how bad your losses were. There was no like scale to tell you what you were throwing, but you did realize like the difference that your adjustments made, right? So, I mean, there was no like standard of measurement to measure your losses. You just knew if it was, well, back then with those combines, I think it was always bad, but you just knew if it was bad or really bad. That would be kind of the difference. You can see the difference that your adjustments made.
So when you were a kid and like you said, when you're growing up in the 90s, how sort of then inspirational was that from Dad to then you want to develop a product like this that you're potentially going to, sell across the world now? That's what you're aiming to do.
I always thought that, like I've had the other systems that were out there, but like it was, I guess it was, I bought the other ones and ended up using my own just because it was, in my opinion, way easier and way better. And as we got into newer combines, like these X9s now, there is like one of the top systems out there. You can't even put it on an X9. Like it doesn't even work. It won't go on the axle. In 2023, could you try and find me a video of it going on the back axle of an X9? I don't think, I've never seen one, and I've looked pretty hard, and that's because it doesn't work.
How much then have you put in over the last, since you've always thrown the pan, you've thrown the board, you've been doing that for a long time.
I should have said before.
Talk about that, but that's okay. Yeah.
I would throw it by hand. Like I would manually run in here, and which isn't the safest by any means. I would manually run in here, and I would put it on the ground in front of the discharge. Like, so I'd run in up here, and I'd set it on the ground, and I would set it down, and the combine would go, and I'd duck and get all chaff. Like it was too messy. Nobody would ever use that. And basically, the board is the same as, well, there's one prototype. There was one before this, actually two before this. So the board has been the same basically with the screen since 3 versions now. I've had the screen. The first one didn't fold. Like now we've incorporated the folding top screen on it, and we have used everything on this board is stuff that is standard like equipment in the farming industry. Like the screen, like everybody knows that what that's. Every farmer I'm sure watching this would know what that. They recognize that screen, right? Like,
yeah, like you said, you've been throwing boards, the pans under for how many, since
15,
you can remember
probably,
now.
like,
Yeah.
like,
You've been throwing them there. So when did you think that it was time to sort of make this new device that you've
right there,
created now?
Farming watch. I always thought I could make one like that would be, but I didn't want to spend 11 years by the time you make the first prototype, get the patent, take it to production, find somewhere to make it, and have it all get screwed up, then redo it, find different distributors, different factories to make it. Like, it's just, I didn't want to start my own company with it. So once we had Farming Watch, Matt and I were getting this publicity and these views, and we did a couple tests to see, like, let's make a video of the combine, drop pan, myself throwing it by hand, manually, we call it. And that video, I think one of them got 16 million was the most on our page, and then that video got stolen actually, got another 40 million on somebody else's page. So it did get a lot of notice. I was like, well, I talked with Matt, and it was like, it's time that we make this thing proper and make it so it comes off the combine. And then, like, I had a lot of friends help me along the way, a little bit here and there, not really with the design, but just with some of the ideas. My friend Terry helped me quite a bit, and also Daffodil, he's the co-designer on this. He helped me a lot on this and sacrificed a lot too for this system to be where it's at today. And like, once Farm Watch came to be a thing and we had the publicity, like, it's time to start making this, and there's some other things on the way too. Like, this isn't the end of it. You have something else really great on the go, but it's Farm Watch is what's making this all a thing, because, like, we have a lot of leverage. Everybody that's a farmer and that's farming grain is going to see this thing because everybody's following Farm Watch.
We'll break down then the board. Obviously, you had the major changes. You started with 2 arms to have this drop system, different to other products that have come up out on the map. Slide system, yeah. But talk to me about how it started, the 2 arms that it used to slide off, and what you found with that, and the difficulties with that, and how much work. And then obviously in the last few months you've come up with a change, and you think that's really thing that's got it over the line.
Yeah, basically the 2 slides was just a pain in the ass, right? Like, to me, like it's one more piece, and when you put it on, like, it was harder to get on the combine because you needed 2 actuators. So, like, I'm all about making this, like, to help out the farmers, right? Like, the guys could save themselves so much money, like, by doing this a couple times a day or once a day. Like, you wouldn't believe the money you can save. So I wanted to make it so that it was easy to use and as, like, the cost of production as low as possible. And, like, let's face it, you grew up on a farm too. You know what it's like. Like, the last thing you have time for in harvest is to board the combine. Like, but you should make it a priority, because the money you're going to save yourself, like, it's something you should be doing. Like, there's probably nothing you could do in a day of harvest more that's going to save you that, like, time spent per hour the time you spend boarding a combine. Like, if you spend an hour boarding your combines, like, that hour could save you in a day. If you combine 400 or 500 acres in a day with 4 combines, like, do the math. Like, if it saves you 1.5 bushels, 2 bushels an acre, like, that's like 1,000 bushels of canola at $20 a bushel in the high times. So, like, that's 20 grand a day you could save yourself for spending an hour. Like, I don't know. So we're trying to make it easy, and with 2 slides, it would take longer to put it on because you need to double everything except the electrical. And we switched it to 1 because we thought that it would be way more marketable and it would work way better for the guys out there farming. Like,
and that's sort of the main concept as well. Obviously, farmers now, they're not running 1 combine, they're running 2, 3, 4, 5, 12.
Yeah, well, if you have
that's the thing where you want to be able to, you only need one of these products, and you can take it in, you know, 90, on in 90 seconds, off in half a minute.
Yeah, like
and
a
then
minute to 90
to the
seconds.
next combine you can go. So that's sort of the thing. Was that sort of the main thing that you wanted to make sure that was that was a priority in your planning,
and
in
easy
your design?
to put on, and any combine, any axle, because you see it's right now it's in the, well, the board's not on it, but that's the cover, because we had to put the cover because it was, in the time it took like to load the combine up at the distance, we thought about a third of a bushel per acre sitting on. Like what we did is we put it on just like we were gonna drop it, and then we combined the distance that you'd normally combine to drop it, and we didn't drop it. We just screened it out and we put it in our system to tell bushels per acre loss, and we were getting about a third of a bushel per acre. So the cover actually, it does aid in the design, but it's just magnets on. It's like nothing, and it's to shield the pan from grain coming onto it. Like I want to explain how it like when it's in the center, yeah, when you can put it, but there's certain combines you can't quite put it on the center, so the slide has to go a few inches off the center of the axle, and then we have other positions on the board where you move the board, or move the slide over, and the board still has to be center of your discharge. And then I'll go into how this one is 66 inches, and the discharge on an X9 is 65 inches, and the competitors, the other systems, are only 60 inches. So how can you test a combine with a 65-inch discharge total loss when your pan is only 60? Like there's no way it could ever work. Like
the reason for the top screen is obviously to
it's
eliminate
to
that.
too.
Yeah, but the main reason is to eliminate that variance of whatever was falling out before the pan drops, slides off.
Yeah.
That's just getting rid of that variant, and it's one thing that.
Well,
your competition doesn't have that issue, but that's the way that you've worked around that issue.
It goes going here. Like we've found that you still do get some deflection or whatever. There can be some grain on it, but like this is here because so you don't have to crawl on your back, right? Like and go under and put it on, and like the competitors, like on an X9 you can't put it on, because on the X9 you can't see it because it's in the way now, but the axle isn't straight on the bottom. It's like from the tires it goes like this, and then it goes down and then flat. And on the other systems, the magnets, like the frame, the mount bottoms out on the axle before the magnets contact, so you can't drop it. Like I have friends with combines like this with X9s, and they're throwing them by hand.
Okay, well I think we've talked about the development of how you've gone from two slides to one. Now we'll start to talk about the drop system and how it sort of worked, and it's sort of hasn't changed too much. Obviously you'd have to perfect the actuators and how it actually falls off the combine while we're combining. So just talk us through that.
Yeah, you can actually, it doesn't go, you can do it yourself from the cab. Like if you can put it on, it can go, you can put it on yourself, and that's okay, just laugh it off, don't take it seriously. Yeah, you can put it on yourself, and you can drop it from the cab. Like you can do this independently if you want to. You can put it on there by yourself, and you can drop it right from the cab. It's a remote, like you can drop it with your phone too. Like we do have the technology to do that. We're already defying gravity by having it hang off to one side and still come off. Why not make it so you can drop it from your phone? So yeah, so basically I made it like this because a good friend of mine that works on the farm, Tim, trying to put another system on. That system weighs about 27 pounds. And I don't know if you've seen a 57-year-old man bench pressing anything, but that's what it looked like. And I thought, like, boy, it would be nice if you didn't have to bench press anything when all this other shit is going on during the day, The
board system itself, obviously with farming, and especially in the cropping industry, your margins are getting finer with everything. How important is it to make sure that you're constantly and accurately measuring your crop losses?
Well, it's important. It should be at the forefront of your agenda, I would say, because, well, when grain is worth a lot of money, like every bushel, like a canola, like like how it was a couple of years ago when canola was $20-some a bushel. Like one bushel you're paying for your phosphate fertilizer, almost in 1 bushel per acre. When grain is expensive, and then when grain is cheap, you need every kernel you can get because it's very important. I would say that, do you want a dollar figure? Do you want an estimate on that, or what are you thinking? Over the years, I think that, by daily testing, and I've gone to other farms, I have seen the results where, and then sometimes I haven't said anything, but sometimes they've asked me to do it. I've totally, one of my neighbors, I've totally changed the way he combines his canola. And I would say I've been farming now for 20 years. I don't know how many, I would say it's got to be over that 7-figure mark, for sure, that this thing has, having this has saved me, because when there's time, I do make it a priority to at least once a day, and then in the evenings. But once you get to know this system and get to know your combine, once you get to know your combine, you don't maybe need to do it as much. But if you think you know your combine and you've never dropped a pan and checked it, you don't know shit.
Until you see that your wheat stubble a month later is turning green.
Yeah, well, even no. Then it was, there was a little bit of hail on the wheat. It got shelled out. There was this, there was that. Maybe some elk walked through it or whatever. There's always a reason. But I'm not saying that I have combined perfectly all the time. But there's times when you don't have time to check. But I'm trying to make this so that you do have time to check, right? So that it just takes a minute to put on, or I think Daffodil put it on, it was about 90 seconds today. And you drop it and you throw it all together, it all goes together, and it, when it's marketable, it will be in about a 68-inch soft case, we're hoping, and then everything just goes on top of each other. It's got a handle on the board on the other side to pick it up, and the cover goes right inside and hangs on the pins, and you just carry it like a guitar.
Yeah, and it's only going to range from that, not exactly, but it's much lighter than any other sort of thing.
Yeah,
anything else you've seen on the market.
Yeah, that one is 9 pounds there.
Yeah.
I think it was when we weighed it. I think that was with the screen, and that's about a third of the weight of. We did add a little bit of weight once we put this piece of checker plate in, and what goes on the bottom of it, but it still is going to be, I bet you, half or just under half of the.
Yeah.
We could weigh it and see, but right away. But it's.
And how is it going to be better than any other product we've seen?
Well, it's definitely,
apart from the
it's
simplicity.
going to save you time.
Yeah.
And hopefully it's going to be cheaper. I think it should be the cheapest out there, because you're not going to have
it's simple.
half of $1,000. You don't even really need the blowing system. But we did come up with one with our version of it that should cost about a tenth. It's right there, and it is made from standard equipment in the farming industry that, I'm sure guys right now are recognizing in this interview that what it's made from, and it's made easy and way cheaper. It doesn't need to be $550 to screen out a little bit of chaff. But the thing is, with ours, the screen basically eliminates the need for the blowing system, for the blower to get rid of your chaff and keep your grain. We're making it as quick as possible. It's just that fold. It's you drop it, just give it a little shake, and then fold the screen off, and it dumps all the big stuff like your straw, and the grain falls through. So all you have on the board is a little bit of chaff and your losses. And then,
and that's the difference in something that you've been doing for a long time now.
Yeah, and then it pours from there right into your pans. They could come with it. Most farmers have them already. I don't think most people get the other systems with them. It's some standard equipment, right? Something that everybody already has. And then from there, it goes into the black box, and that's what tells you your bushels per acre loss. Ballpark, because farmers, we don't care if we're throwing or losing 2.1325 bushels per acre. We just care if, we want to know, like, are we around 2 or are we around 1.5 bushels, or what's our losses? Like, we don't care about like exact results for this. Like, there's no need to go above 2 on the gauge, like bushels per acre loss, because if you're losing more than 2 bushels per acre, you need
You need to make some
like the
adjustments.
board isn't the starting point. If
Yeah.
you're losing that much, you need to take a look at things.
So simply, what are the best things about this system that we haven't seen before as well?
The best things are the price and the time you save, not having to mess around with all that screening, and you don't have to spend all that time sifting through straw and chaff. Like with this one, you don't get any straw. Your straw is gone, and the price on this should be a lot cheaper than what's on the market today. It's the simplicity, the profitability on it. Like for sure, the reason you're going to buy this is because of the money you're going to save yourself. Like do the math. If you have 2,000 acres of canola, and it's easy, you're throwing 1.5 bushels too much if you're not boarding a combine, and if you're not boarding it right, and you think you're doing a better job than you are because you've thrown half the chaff off, or thrown half the grain off in the cleaning process, that takes way too long. So we're doing this for speed, profitability, and also for easy on the body because you don't have to lay on your back. Like, this is something that basically you're going to use it because you don't have to lay down and go for a roll on the ground, and it goes on in a minute to a minute and a half, and you can drop it yourself. And this thing has saved me in the millions over the years. Like, there's only so much grain out there. Let's have it go in the right place, not on the ground. I want the same for other guys.